the two sides are not really clear about where they want to be. I think the United States certainly wants to end this. I'm not sure that the IRGC and Iran want to end it. So it's not clear at all from where I am here in the United States. It's not clear at all where we are in this war. No, I don't think you can say either one. Of course, the military actions which the United States and its partner Israel have taken. When you look at the statistics, you have thousands of sorties and thousands of IRGC stations and missile silos and missile factories destroyed. So, I mean, it's hard to say that that isn't a success. On the other hand, we haven't been able to prevent the IRGC, and I'm assuming that there is no political government in Iran, that the IRGC is in charge, and it's a question of how people say asymmetric warfare. So the United States has this tremendous firepower and military power, and yet the IRGC, using those little inflatable boats and threats, has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz. So I don't like your characterization of are we winning or are we in a quagmire? I think we're still, as I said in the beginning, I don't think we know where we are. Yes. Okay. Well, you're asking really difficult questions. Look, the definition of victory when we started out on the 28th of February was regime change and the complete collapse of the Islamic regime in Iran. Today, I don't think you can say that that's winning. Today, you have to look at the fact that the strait is not fully open and not completely free. And you also have to look at the fact that the IRGC still seems to be able to send missiles and do damage in other in target areas like Saudi Arabia, even like in Israel. So I think the goalposts, you know how we say in English, the goalposts have changed, and the situation is very very unclear. Well, one thing I have to say is that if the United States, for its own reasons, decides to stop fighting and declare victory, I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't do that, then we have to figure out where we go from there. It wouldn't be a very good public relations situation if we declare victory and the strait is still closed and the missiles are still flying from Iran. So that's a problem we have to work. Well, the 6th of April is the end of the 10 days that the president declared over the weekend that he was extending to the Iranians, to the IRGC, to come to an agreement. That's been on the table for quite a while. The agreement is to stop fighting and to now, as I said, I mean, I'm not in Washington, so I don't know if these demands have been articulated, but you certainly can't have an agreement without the strait being open. I mean, that seems to me, and you stop ceasefire on the part of on the part of both parties. Well, I don't think you can. How can you say that? The Israelis have recently been the target of missiles from Iran, and those missiles have exploded on the ground in Israel. So, I mean, how can you say that that Israel is no longer that Iran is no longer a threat to Israel? No, of course, Iran is a threat to Israel as long as it has the capability to launch missiles, drones, and cruise missiles. Well, okay, so you have to separate what's going on with Iran with what's going on elsewhere in the Middle East. With regard to Iran, of course, our goals were exactly aligned on the 28th of February. We wanted a regime change in Iran, a ceasefire, and a guarantee that they would not acquire nuclear weapons, that they wouldn't threaten their neighbors with their missiles, and that they wouldn't use their proxies. Well, I don't. I can't say. I can't agree with you. I can't disagree with you because I don't know what Prime Minister Netanyahu's situation is. He clearly did not like the 15 points that the President Trump gave to the Iranians, and he made his ambassador here in Washington made a public statement saying that he didn't like them, that Israel did not agree with those 15 points. So that's something that's on the record. Yeah, he doesn't agree with the way President Trump put forward those 15 points. But I don't think you should be too precise about disagreements between Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump. I think there is a lot of cooperation. There's a lot of understanding, and this has become. I mean, I guess you have to say this is the classic definition of unintended events, unintended consequences. Who knew? Who was able to tell that we'd be in a situation where our original goal of regime change and those basic conditions would evaporate in the face of the opening of the straits? Amazing. Well, I don't know several years, but certainly the world and certainly the Middle East is not going to return to February 28th, because you also have the actions of Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. We don't know where that's going to end up. The Prime Minister of Israel said he's going to occupy southern Lebanon, and he's going about doing that. So we don't know how that's going to turn out.